Welcome to The Current by TreasureCoast.com, where we discuss interesting people, places, and happenings on Florida's Treasure Coast.
Madeline, thanks so much for joining us. I'm excited to have you on to talk about pickleball locally, as well as some of the events. We got connected through the Martin County Senior Games. So maybe we can start by you introducing yourself and who you are and the organizations that you're associated with, and then we can go from there.
Absolutely. So my name is Madeline Gonzalez, and I'm a pickleball pro player instructor. I'm actually the head of pickleball at Riverland Sports and Racket Club here in Port St. Lucie. So that's, I'm not sure if you're, ever heard of Riverland or, because
Oh, for
we talked
sure.
about previously. And yes, okay. So, yeah, so pickleballs, we have like 37 courts, dedicated pickleball courts, and then we have 8 more cover courts that are being built, and 8 extra outdoor courts. So a lot of pickleball. Um, yes, and I also provide services different places for Fierce Sports Performance is my company. And this year I'm running the Martin County Senior Games 2025, so the pickleball tournament. I'm super excited about that one because we're expecting around 250 plus players.
Wow.
Hopefully, that's gonna take place October 23rd and 24th. So that's a Thursday and a Friday. And we're gonna have gender doubles on Thursday, and on Friday we're gonna have the mixed doubles. And yeah, so basically I'm a 5-0 player, Yola sponsor player. And I don't know if I'm missing something, but yeah, that's me.
No, that's awesome. That's a good rundown. I didn't realize that you were at Riverland. That's cool to hear because I know just like anywhere else, pickleball's exploded, but especially at Riverland. I mean, the courts there are just like
Hmm.
unbelievable. Have you been? How long have you been
Right.
playing pickleball?
About 6 years now.
Okay, nice.
Yes, I started in Arizona. Yes, so before I moved back to Florida, me and my family were living in Arizona, and that's where I picked it up.
And how'd you get into it? Just out of curiosity, were you playing some like adjacent sport, or did you just pick it up?
Of course, of course. So I actually play professional volleyball,
Wow.
not tennis, believe it or not, which is, I think, Josh, one of the coolest thing about the pickleball sport is that it's many people from different backgrounds, right, come to this sport and they can be successful. Um, just like anything, if you, whatever, however, the level you want to take it to and how committed you are, right?
Yeah.
Pickleball is something that you can pick up and it's easy to pick up, right? So that's why it's so popular, in my opinion, and so accessible too, right? There's so many public parks, especially in Port St. Lucie, that you can go to and play. Um, but yeah, so to answer your question, in Arizona, it was during right before COVID hit. Um, Me and my husband and my daughter at the time, we moved, and I was coaching volleyball, and then after that, so obviously stopped coaching volleyball, went to Arizona, and was just going crazy because I was pregnant at the moment. And it was just something, something to look, something to do, right? And we bought a house, and it was right next to this park, this big park with beach courts, sand volleyball courts, right? And we're like, oh yeah, very cool. And then out of nowhere, they took the courts down, the volleyball courts, and they put pickleball courts. And I'm like, what's pickleball? Right? It's like, what are they doing? They're taking my sport. Anyway, so I tried it once. I remember going in with my husband and with the super cheap paddles, and this two like older couple, we were playing and they beat us the first game, and I'm like, this cannot be. This is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
this cannot happen. So and then they're like, oh, this is how you play. And then from there on, my husband went to Amazon, bought a decent paddle. He bought the more expensive paddle for him, just saying, and then gave me the other one. And I'm like, no, mister, you're returning that and you gave me a good one. And then it was history. We being athletic people, we kind of were taken by the pickleball community. And yeah, and we from there on, that's just we started playing.
That's a cool story because I think a lot of people get into it like that, where pickleball, because it's gotten so popular, there are a lot of communities that are replacing different amenities, whether it's like a sand volleyball
Hmm.
court or tennis courts, and even up
Hmm.
in from Vero Beach down to, I know, like at Pocahontas Park up in Vero Beach, all the way down to like where
Hmm.
the senior games are going to be at Halpatiokee, where there was no pickleball courts there when I was growing up. Now that's like a mecca
Hmm.
for pickleball. Um, did you all have, what was Fierce? Was your company a thing in Arizona, or did you start that when you moved here?
When I moved here, I still, when we moved back, I was still having my regular job, the 8 to 9 to 5 job,
Right.
and then obviously I was playing. It was more me as a player and teaching. But now all I do in the past 2 years, all I've been doing is just full-time pickleball, running events, tournaments, clinics, pickleball socials. I provide services at Esplanade at Tradition. Also, director at Sandpiper Bay Resort in the Sandpiper Bay area. What it used to be Club Med before, right? But right now they're shut down and they're under renovations and construction. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so I started the company here when I went fully pickleball.
So it's focused almost entirely on pickleball. So you kind of got into pickleball. You came here and you started it as you kind of hit the ground running with pickleball, right?
That's correct. That's
Very
correct. Let me
cool.
see. So I started with just the private lessons, and then um, it's very popular
Yeah.
to have groups of people that want to, for example, at the resort, like we will run a big group that wants something, right? Like a getaway, in a way. And then so it started like that. I'm like, this could work, And then um, I got offered the position at Riverland, and then from there it's just crazy. My phone goes, they don't leave me alone,
Oh, I'm
but but,
sure.
but I love it. But I
Yeah.
love it, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you mean, because we have limited exposure to the pickleball. We play it kind of recreational every now and then, but you can tell that um, you know the age range of the people who are doing it and the community, it seems to be very strong, especially in communities like Riverland, where people probably go there hoping to get that social aspect of it, and then for people who just want to
Hmm.
stay active, they can do that as well. I mean, I do you see that on your end? Is there a lot of different, I'm sure there's different walks of life and different ages that are coming out and asking for your help, right?
Yes. So Riverland it's a residential community,
Mm,
right? So it's not a public facility, and it is a 55 plus community. So yes, and then we get from on that side, we have the players that are very competitive and the ones that just want to be recreational, have a good time, fun, and just exercise.
yeah.
But then, just to give you a little bit more background, Josh, and so I don't know when you started to follow a little bit of pickleball, but like pickleball is seen, and I think still today, as in like a sport that is played by older people only, and I don't know if
Right.
but that's the perception, right? Where if you go into the pickleball tournaments, PPAs, APPs, you'll see a lot of because it's so fun and so addicting. I mean, when you pick up a pickleball paddle, it's just so addicting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um, you see the younger, just it's crazy right now where very athletic people, young people are coming into the sport. I mean, there are junior academies out there that are starting. The pickleball is getting in. It's in colleges right now.
Oh, wow.
UF has a program, so like, yes, it's everywhere. I don't think it has exploded like it's. I give it like 3 more years, and it's gonna be like this huge thing. In schools especially, high schools, I see it being there as well, and we get a lot of tennis migrating to pickleball as well. But not only tennis players, a lot of soccer players make good pickleball players as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
If you have some type of hand-eye coordination and so yeah, but so The stereotype has changed. Obviously, it started like that, but then it's just become so popular, the sport, that we get all ages for sure.
So what what
Hmm.
what is your goal for Fierce? Do you? I mean, I'm sure you get all ages. Do you? Are you focused more on like the recreational side, or do you focus a lot more with if
Hmm.
someone's younger, maybe they're more competitive? Do you have different classes for that? I wonder
Hmm.
if people would be interested because I'm sure there might be many different classes and many different types of goals that people have.
Hmm. Yes, I do. I work with everybody. I consider myself a chameleon in that aspect. For fears, obviously the same. It depends what the student slash client needs and is looking for. So can cater to that. I want to say, I'm working currently with a 12-year-old that participates. It's active participant of tournaments and trying just to improve her game, and wants, has bigger dreams. So, she wants to play at the pro level, let's say, right? And then I have other students that are just wanting to get better and have better games when they go to open play, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
So that's it. Hmm.
That's cool. Can I ask you what's your
Yeah,
favorite?
and I think.
No, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
Mhm. Oh, no, no. I'm just saying, like, for example, you could see how, like, if you go to the Martin County Senior Games, the pickleball games, you will see how obviously it's a 50 plus tournament, and it starts a 50 to 54, then 55, and then 60 plus, so in increments of 5 years, all the way to 70 plus. And you'll see some of those games at the higher level, right? Like the divisions, we started at 3-0 all the way to the 4.5, 5 plus. They're intense and they're good players. I mean, it's really fun to watch, and how much this sport can be for everybody. And obviously, this is a 50 plus tournament, but it's still a good level, you know. I'm sorry, what were you gonna ask
No,
me?
no, I think that's a really good point. It's funny because like I when you had mentioned that when you started, you had you played against some older people and they kind of took it to you, and I totally resonate with
Yes.
that. Like we will go out there sometimes, and we play very recreationally. We'll go meet with friends sometimes and play just because it's fun. It's
Hmm.
a great way to stay active, and a lot more people are playing it. Um, but sometimes I'll go out there and we'll play against people who are probably, I would say, in their 60s, and
Yes.
it's great for. I mean, it's I'm sure great for them because they've been able to stay so much more athletic and mobile than they would have if they
Active,
never
sure.
started.
Hmm.
But they're also it's just a totally different
Yes.
level. They're whooping us when we're out there, so they're really exceeding whatever goals they
Yes.
had.
Yes, I think that's, and again, it's like learning to play the game. They know how to play the game.
Right, right,
They play smarter, not harder.
right,
Versus maybe somebody that's coming in, let's say, right, young person comes in and wants to just rip the ball, but
right.
that doesn't work. There's more strategy to the game than just that. And then, especially if we get emotional, like, how can this player be beating me? That's impossible. Well, yes, it's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's funny. So how often do you play?
we play. I would say twice a month is probably a good.
Twice a
If
month?
it's a weekend,
Oh, you could come with
I
me.
know we'll have to. One of these days, we'll have to get on your calendar maybe and see if you can whip us into shape because we go out and we have friends that are good, but none of us I would say are like very technical. We'll go out to with different groups of friends depending on who wants to play, um, but we'll
Hmm.
try to kind of work in with the different groups that are. If we go to Halpatiokee, we'll try to play with some people who are there. Or we play a lot in Palm
Yes.
City.
Hmm.
Um, we've gone up
Hmm.
to, I just, like you had mentioned, it is one of those things where it's easy to kind of let your ego take, you just want to start, you start playing not
Yes.
very intelligently. Next thing you're
No.
limping, your knee hurts, you're upset because you lost, you
Exactly.
got skunked.
Right, right. Yeah. So what's your, let's say, to me, I love this conversation because the question I'm going to ask you is, do you obviously, scoring and the rules,
Yeah.
right? Kind of, right?
Yep.
So what's what would you say is the hardest part of the game? Or what do you, I guess that question first, and what do you enjoy the most about the game?
I mean, what I love the most about pickleball is that we can play with, like my father's in his 70s. It's easy for him
Mm-hmm.
to come out and play. Fortunately, he's still physically capable, but it's fun to be able to be able to play something competitively with him and with some of his friends that come out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say that. And what do I think is the most difficult? It's very, I wasn't sandbagging when I said that I'm really not that skilled, because most aspects of it are pretty difficult to me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say you had mentioned a lot of people play smarter and not harder. I think that that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
things you can kind of feel. Sometimes you're playing people who you can tell that you're the one that's running around and you're the one that's breaking a big sweat, and they're
Yes.
not really that worried about it. And so that's one of the
Right.
things that, the
Right.
mental aspect, I think, is the first thing that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're the guy running around, you're doing something that's not right, for sure. And I think for anybody that's watching this podcast or will watch it, is I would tell you that is the ability to uh obviously have consistency and control and keeping it low.
Right,
Because this is a game where basically you're trying to hit down and the opponent's, you're trying to hit down first to create that pop up, right?
right.
So if they're moving you around, more movement creates more margin of error. So it's very interesting. I love this part, and this is why I love my job,
Yeah.
you know, um, teaching. So awesome, cool.
What's the most difficult thing? I mean, to kind of flip that, what's the most difficult thing that you see from your students? Like, what's the thing that a lot of people have a hard time grasping? Because I imagine that the concept of keeping the ball down or hit, I imagine that some people get that, at least from a conceptual standpoint. It's easier, like anything, it's easier
hmm
said than done. But I'm interested to hear what you
hmm
think is kind of the thing that most students struggle with.
I think a lot of this, my students struggle with understanding that this is a sport that power is not the most important thing, but more location and more point of contact. So in pickleball, you want to make sure that you have everything short and compact because we are in a smaller court than tennis, for example. So that ball travels quick. And especially when we're at the kitchen line or the non-volley zone, we're only 14 feet apart. And so that ball comes quickly or quick to you, right? So they're making sure that we don't take this big backswing because we think we have to hit hard when that's not the case. We have to make sure that we contact the ball in front because when the ball is further in front of our body, we control it better. Plus, the ball hasn't descend all the way to the lowest point. You can still, you're taking
Right.
notes. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I'm
So,
trying to hide
so
it. I'm like, ugh.
so yeah, what by making contact in front of your body, you make contact at the highest point that you're able to reach it, and therefore put more pressure on the opponent. You see,
Yeah.
I put pressure not by thinking that I have to hit through the person. I put pressure by going low to their feet because when I go low to their feet, their paddle goes down. And if the paddle goes down, I'm expecting a higher ball the next
Got
point.
it.
So it's more chess and checkers.
That
Does
makes
that make
that
sense?
makes a lot of sense.
Versus,
Yeah.
yes, unless I see a high ball, if we see a high ball, of course we go after and
Right.
like I say, we punish. I think that's one thing. The second thing that a lot of my students, clients struggle with is understanding that because it's a paddle and not a racket. We don't have strings. So it is now with the new technology and paddles, by the way, Yola has a great paddle. The Pro 4 paddle, Scorpius is the one that I use. I'm just taking advantage of the moment and promoting Yola. But um, we cannot just hit the ball like one. We have to hold the ball in our paddle like one, two, three, and then we let it go. That's how we shape or manipulate the ball. We want to give it top spin or we want to give it backspin. But if you just like hit the ball, like it's just going and flies, right? If obviously you play, you know that this ball is so sensitive.
Yeah.
You
Right.
hit it a little bit and it goes. So the yeah, that concept it's hard to grasp sometimes because as human nature, we see ball, we hit ball, but in this time you want to keep it longer in your paddle and guide it or push it. That's where the term push dink comes. So we're pushing with our shoulder.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I do
Yeah.
you have are you expecting a lot of your own, the people that you've instructed or maybe from Riverland, to go out to the senior games?
Absolutely. Yes.
Cool.
I've shared it with Riverland community. We have a group, Team Reach. They're super, I already, which is amazing. Right now, the signups, our participation is really good, and we're still in, what month are we are? We can't even think. It's
Yeah, it's
September.
like a month out
So
still.
this is a yeah, a month. Yeah, and so usually pickleball tournaments, they start the registration starts picking up maybe 2 weeks,
Hmm.
3 weeks, the 2 week mark. But we're seeing good numbers, so we're super excited about that. And when I say we, I say my team because I do have a group of people that I have that are volunteers are going to be helping me and to run this thing, right? Because obviously I can't do it
Yeah,
alone.
yeah,
Um, yeah, we're super excited, and so Angel and Easy,
of
they're going to
course.
be a part of that, and uh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
That's cool. Do you want to talk a little bit about the pickleball tournament? Just because I don't know if I think I mean, we mentioned it a couple times while we've been talking. Um, but do you want to give a little rundown for it for people who maybe haven't heard of it, or if they haven't seen it either on social media
hmm
or on our website or on the county's website? You can give them a little rundown of what they can expect.
Absolutely. And also before I forget, I also shared it with the Esplanade community and Whispering Pine community
Hmm.
for the tournament, and obviously in social media. Trying to hit those groups in
Yeah,
social media for Facebook, especially because Pickleball is so big on Facebook. So, anyways, and now treasurecoast.com, so that's gonna
yeah,
be
of
there.
course,
So,
of course.
anyways, the tournament, how it works. So, yes, like I mentioned, it's gonna be that Thursday and Friday. Friday, Thursday is gonna be gender doubles, meaning men's doubles or women's doubles, and then Friday is mixed doubles. So you play one of each gender. Um, we start at the 3.0 level. So in pickleball, we have ratings. This is a USAPA sanctioned, and not a sanctioned tournament, but USAPA ruled based tournament. So we go by the levels of with the rating. So it's 3.0, then we go 3.5, 4.0, and then 4.5 plus all the way to 5.0. So each division is also it's by skill, the number, and also by age. So there's gonna be 20 divisions because if we do the math, if we have the three O's, we have the 50 to 55 and 55 to 60, 60 to 65, and so on, all the way to 70 plus, right? So so women's will play that day in men's, and then mix on the second day. And how does it work? Where depending on the how many teams we have, it's either going to be double elimination or a round robin kind of tournament. So round robin says everybody plays everybody, and then we kind of seed everybody for the next round for playoffs, and then that's when people start to get eliminated. When if you lose your match in the playoff round, double elimination, but obviously it's super simple. If you lose twice, then you're out of the tournament, basically. Um, it's going to be at Halpatiokee Regional Park, down in Stuart. There's 18 courts, I believe, in there. Yep, 18 courts. And then we are going to be starting at 8 o'clock. Hopefully, weather permitting, it should run smoothly. You can expect each division to be done maybe around the 3 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour mark. So people, I found that the other tournaments that I ran in the past, I do fun tournaments like, for example, Cinco de Pickle, uh, Monster Brawl, all these kind of things. The feedback has been that people want to be in a tournament that is well organized and that runs on time.
Sure.
The worst thing that you can be doing in one of these events is that are sitting for a long time, and you don't know where you're playing next or something like this. So it's very cool. We use a platform that allow us to text players, and so basically when their match is up, they immediately get a text message and say, "Hey, court 18, and you're playing against this team." You know,
Very cool.
uh, yeah. So take. I'm very proud that we run a very smooth and organized tournament. So I expect, and my intent for the Martin County Senior Games Pickleball Tournament to be the same. Yes.
Yeah, that's I couldn't agree more. I think that that's one of the things a lot of people really hope for when they are in any event, but especially competitive um, endeavors like that, where you want to make sure that everything's on time, you're not waiting on other people, and I'm interested
Yep.
to see what your thoughts are on. I know you had mentioned other events. Is there anything else that's coming up that you want to give a shout out to? I mean,
Sure. So to this morning, right? So this morning, my it's a coworker. His name is Paul Palermo. He's another pro around the area, the sports director at Riverland. We ran this clinic. It's a 3-day clinic, right? It's called uh, Maddie's and Paul's Level Up Series. We're all the way to number 4. People love these, and the way it works is it's a 3-day clinic, so an hour and a half in the morning each day. We pick some topics that we are gonna, work on. We do a day one, maybe more kitchen work, or I call it kitchen, but the non-volley zone. Second day is more transitioning from the baseline. Third day, we kind of run you through a good drill session and warm up, and then we kind of do this mini tournament. And we give prizes to the winners and just cool stuff,
yeah,
and I think it's very popular because so that's something that we run, that is actually some of the events that we do at Riverland are open to non-residents, just some of them, not all the things, obviously. And then when that's open, then we make it public. And that's one of those where sometimes we do bring non-residents. And so yeah, so learning, running you through the drills, and then kind of putting everything together in a mini tournament, or up and down the river we call it. So
hmm,
uh, yeah, that's something that did. So the other thing that I guess a shout out I can give is running the Riverland Invitational December 6th and 7th. It's I mean, people are asking me already about, like, when is it I'm like, I'm working on it, guys. Okay, it's gonna come out soon. That's in December. I'm still, you know, I got I got 2 daughters and my
yeah,
little dog, So anyways, but yeah, so that's coming up, and that's a fun one. And we play at Riverland. I mean, it's beautiful. It's December, like
yeah.
it's Florida. Like it's just amazing. The vibe is super cool. We have about 300 players registered. 2 years ago, I think last year was like around 200. Yeah, so it's a really fun tournament. Um, so I guess also the next bigger events that I have coming up.
Is that one open to the public, or is that literally an invitational, or how does that work if people want to find out more
N-
about it?
No, yes, that's a good question. No, it's open. It's
Oh,
open for
cool.
everybody. We host 2 bigger tournaments a year, Riverland Invitational, and then the Riverland Open is more February or March. We haven't decided that yet, but yeah, in between those months. So we run 2 bigger ones during the year, and then we have other ones that are open uh, for everybody, that are smaller. For example, Cinco de Pico, Monster Smash. We did that like during the Halloween, all that stuff, So um, yeah, so it's open. And how can you find out about the tournament? So if you follow me social media, you can totally do that. I'll post things. We have the Instagram and Facebook. You can look me up with Madeline Gonzalez Facebook, or it's Madeline underscore PB on Instagram, I believe. I can't remember right now, but I think that's it. And we post things in there about future events. For example, we'll have a that's coming up. It's a back and flick kind of clinic. So how to learn that shot specifically.
That's cool. We
So
can link if you want to your personal profiles and
mm,
Fierce. If do you guys have a company like Facebook?
If we have Facebook,
Yeah,
you're asking me like the company?
yeah, does Fierce Sports Performance have like
Fear Sports?
a Facebook that we can link with?
No, not yet. That's just I use my
All right,
own
yeah, I'll link to
personal
yours, and
player
we'll
account.
yeah, we'll do a link to
Hmm.
the senior games too, and then if like if anything comes up, feel free to send it over and we can put it in our calendar too. That would be cool. I'm sure people would like to see it.
That'd be
Yeah,
amazing. Uh, so treasurecoast.com, and that's, can you tell me for those that don't know,
yeah, yeah.
what is it and how do you work? Yeah.
We're kind of like a live work play magazine, so we provide things to do. We've got
Okay.
an event calendar that's very popular. This podcast has been more like a community based way to have conversations with people, or about interesting happenings or interesting people that are in the area, things that are going on. But I always say that
Okay.
we are, whether you're here for a day, a week, or a lifetime, we give you everything you need to enjoy the Treasure Coast. So we
Oh,
don't do
nice.
any politics, we don't do any crime. It's all things to do, ways you can enjoy the area. So a lot of our audience is kind of segmented because we have Facebook groups, for example, which is mostly people who live here, and we've got maybe 300,000 people in those groups, and then we've got a lot of people who are more seasonal, and those people kind of find us through our website, or maybe they're on
Okay.
our newsletter. So there's different avenues and there's different people. We reach around 24-25 million people per year, but a
Wow.
big reason for that, I think, is because a lot of it's not people who are right here. It's their family, their friends, people who are just interested in the Treasure Coast. Maybe they're going to move here. Maybe they just are going to come here for a weekend. So we want to make sure that whoever's
Hmm.
here, no matter how long you are, that you're going to be able to make the most of it. So that's why we interview people like you. That was a little
Gotcha.
long-winded, but hopefully, you know what I mean.
No, I love it. I can see this is your passion. You see?
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate
No,
it.
that's pretty cool. So I'm going to obviously, I know my pickleball people are going to be watching this podcast because they're ready. They're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. You're going to be a podcast." And then I was telling them about, treasurecoast.com, so that more people are going to know definitely about you guys. So they're going to watch the podcast, and I just wanted to take the opportunity for you to say, what are you guys
That's
all
awesome.
about, right?
I've never thought about that, and I really appreciate it because we do interview a lot of different people, and sometimes it's people who, they're like, "Who is this random Josh guy who's interviewing this person who I'm very familiar with?" They're like, "Who is this guy?" Like, and here I
Right,
am. I'm
right,
like taking pickleball
right.
notes while you're talking, like a loser. But I don't know. It's
No, 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 no. That like a smart person.
yeah. We'll see if it
Yes,
sticks in.
like a smart
We'll
person.
see if the notes stick. Maybe I will. We'll still have to get on your calendar and get a private to make sure we know what's
Listen,
going on.
listen. How about this? We get a private, which we'll just one day we'll just get together. Maybe we can put some content together and we'll just hit some balls and see what you got. How about
That sounds good, Madeline. Cool. I'll get in touch with you. And
that?
I really appreciate you being on. And I hope that this is helpful for people who are either in the pickleball community, especially if they're looking at getting into an event like the Martin County Senior Games, the pickleball tournament. Um,
Marketing.
but
Hmm.
even if they're looking to learn more about pickleball locally, I think this is kind of a cool concept. So thanks so much for being on.
Thank you so much, Josh, for the opportunity.
That's a wrap for this episode of The Current by TreasureCoast.com. If you enjoyed the conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Follow us on social media or visit TreasureCoast.com for local events, tips, and news. Have a guest or topic you'd love to hear on the show? Let us know at TreasureCoast.com. Until next time, keep riding the current and enjoying every